Hey everybody, it's Brother Kenneth here in the Art of the Deals, and this one we're going to talk about demons' names. The first part we're going to basically discuss is do not say demons' names. Do not say demons' names. Do not say demons' names. Do not ask the priest, do not watch a Father Chad video to get the name of a demon that's supposed to be associated with X, Y, Z, or anything else because you're trying to get a demon off your friend, especially don't do to your friend. Your family members, your spouse, your kids, they're living somewhere else and they change their lifestyle or they become a drug addict or alcoholic. You're not going to be able to pray by adding a demon's name in there, and then suddenly it's going to be more potent. And let me explain why. First off, use your critical thinking mind and understand that demons' names have never been used in any of the prayers out there. Have you seen a saint write a name of a demon in a prayer? No. You know, in the Roman ritual, it doesn't specifically name demons, but in the full ritual, there is a moment in there where you can extract the demon's name, and if it's, partly God's will, and the demon may not be forthcoming, and most often is not, the exorcists usually don't get this piece of information, and yet they are successful, we'll just say a lot of times anyway. It can vary, but we're not talking statistics on this show, so that'll be for another one if you guys want to go over that sometime. When they get this name, they're the only ones to use it. The priest, who's been specified by the bishop, he's been appointed, allocating his powers as a bishop, who by default, through his episcopal orders, is an exorcist. He allocates that. And it's in the catechism that he does that. That's why the priest becomes significant to the office of exorcism. As the priest gets this information, the exorcist, we're talking about the older ritual, not the newer ones. The newer ones are more like the prayers that should be said in a chapel before the ritual for the most part. The old prayers are definitely better, but it's part of it. If it says its name is, the biblical Beelzebub, do you really think that the Beelzebub would be possessing your kid? And he's like, who knows? She may be president someday. Don't do that stuff, all right? That's not how it works. They do this all the time. Like when they said, I'm the devil in this original Exorcist movie. Back, it was like going along with the dialect and dialogue of the person and whatever that everybody called him the devil, not a devil, okay? So we didn't think there's any more than one. That he's either alone all by himself or he's the highest dog in the pack. And, people have different names and so forth and all that, but that name reveals nothing except that there is a demon in there. It might be, of course, the insane, people that are insane and attention seekers can also blurt out any name they want. But that's another story. So, you can't trust the first word that comes out of its mouth because it's usually going to make fun of you if you're an exorcist. It's going to bibble and babble and stuff like that and just make fun of you. And then when you do get a name, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a name that you recognize. That's one of the big ones, that you might see in the Bible, for example. You might actually get the actual demon's name because they're all named. God has a name for everything and every being. But they might only name their general. And like name, rank, and serial number, like the military does when they get caught by an enemy. They might only name their general. But the good thing about this is if they name their general, and the priest at his discretion would know how this name came to be about, how hard it was to attain, and so forth, that he can open the book and then look it up and go, oh, that's the demon of lust and immorality and that kind of thing. Just to give you an example, nothing in particular in mind. That this information has probably already been forthcoming by the initial investigation team. That would be what we do. That the person, and hopefully there hasn't, if they haven't told anybody and they've been doing good for hiding it, like they do when they practice the occult, or when they're having extramarital affairs, or they're addicted to porn, they hide these things that are embarrassing or possibly going to change things in their life and affect them. And you may be already upon an exorcism and it didn't reveal a key factor. Well, the priest at this point or another might realize that the exorcism didn't take because they have not revealed a very serious sin. Cheating on the wife, for example, or being addicted to porn. And in this demon name being revealed says that this is the dominant one here. And it turns out that's how he invited it in. And maybe the occult, which usually is the way. You have one on the doorstep, the occult opens the door, and here comes the demon of lust, and representing porn addiction, all that stuff. That's why don't play with the occult no matter what. It opens the doors, and then we can tell what you've been doing in addition to that by the demon that is haunting your house or whatever. It's a very specialized area, and it brings all the dangers with it. Everything else does too. We're there for the assisting in the exorcism. Sometimes we go, we have to sometimes actually pull our holy water out and try to take care of the situation. But that's another story too, how we work. We'll talk about that in another one. Okay, so when you get the information as an exorcist, and it's actually a demon's name, the actual name of the demon possessing the being, then you can actually work and use that name to expel the demon. Now, in the movie The Rite, with is featuring Father Thomas, Father Gary Thomas, who we've had on our show a few times, there is a truth in there that the demon is going to almost seem like it's painful. It doesn't like being forced to reveal something that's going to be used against him. He's not going to like it. He's going to be outraged. He's going to be angry. It may just come out in a shout. Some of these scenes, although they put these other stories in there, some are fiction, were based on true accounts of, possessions, not necessarily the same one, not on a priest, such as their mentor. But that's the reason is because they have more power over it. The priests, not us. We can't use the name. We don't say it. We're not priests, okay? You don't say demons' names. You don't say their generals' names. There's still a demon. Devils, demons. Devils are, a nickname for a higher-ranking demon, and they're the big bad ones that we get on rare occasions, raining rocks and stuff like that. It does a lot of damage and throws people or items around. You don't get those very often, but people consider that's when it's a demonic. Other than that, it's a ghost. So this is why you got to avoid where you go for your information when you're learning spiritual warfare, demonology. Okay, so the priest is the only one who can use it, and the first level is if you actually get the demon's real name. The real name, something that is stuck onto them, that's attached to them, that their name is. And then the second level is their general, because it'll also reveal things that might not have been revealed previously by the investigation or by the exorcist, and it'll be relevant, and that's why the demon hates to give it, these information, even that one. It'll be relevant in deliberation, probably discovered by the investigation. The exorcist will note it as useful if the person had a particular problem will go back to porn or something like that, that he can just name a demon out of the book specifically that is associated with pornography addiction or something like that. And it's probably going to be one of the common ones. We're not mentioning names, okay? We don't do that. Okay, so in your case, you don't mention a demon's names. You just say demon of lust. You can localize it too. Demon of porn addiction. I bind you at the foot of the cross of Jesus. And you can say these remotely for your kid if they live on the other side of the, the ocean, anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter. That you can help to break them and do the Chapel of Divine Mercy also. The begging, because they still are being held hostage because of their sins, in addition to that they have an addiction demon too. But you name that demon of anxiety, demon, and you're not saying a demon's name, okay? This is basically what deliverance ministers and so forth do. And it does work. Bless yourself with holy water. You'll feel the anxiety peel off where otherwise it would have been there all day and all night into the next day, waking up with your stomach sore and you have to eat, because eventually you're going to end up with an ulcer if this keeps going on and anxiety starts to make the stomach create juices. Okay, so how much more do I need to say about this? I guess I just kind of bullet pointed it a little bit there in 1, 2, 3, and don't trust that you get a demon's name. I mean, if you think that you heard an EVP or something, because we're talking to the general public and not just Christians, Catholics, and so forth, that is not going to be the spirit's name, because they're not going to want to give you their name. So it's likely irrelevant. I don't think I really know of a case. I'd say just ignore it when you hear it somehow or another. Don't go into details about how you heard this name in a dream and stuff like that. You've been watching paranormal shows and stuff so much, you probably heard it by other means. What if you've been reading more, like Crowley or Keys of Solomon or anything else, LaVey? That if you've heard and gotten exposed to those names before, you probably already have invited them in by depending on the means that you did that. Reading the wrong books or something, or their name is playing on a horror movie. Their symbols being flashed on TV, another thing in itself right there. But okay, so how do I say it just to end this? That's basically if you are not an appointed exorcist, of the Roman Catholic Church. You're not a priest. Do not say demons' names. Do not use them in prayers. The saints did not put them forth that way. You know, the Roman ritual doesn't. I mean, there's a place to put it in there if you know the demon's name. But don't forget that that priest is ready to send them to hell. Okay, let's say you're saying one demon of addictions, I bind you at the foot of the cross of Jesus. You're not sending it to hell. You're not even sending it to the foot of the cross of Jesus. I mean, you don't have the authority to do a lot of things. It's just ending as a short scrimmage. And it's going to be back. That could be your demon. If they used to call them demons. Remember monkey on your back, demons? You got your demons. That your addiction is something that you might have to deal with as part of your penance of this life. You know, that, but you can break it down by saying these prayers, but you can't send it to hell. You can't get it off you like it's a possession. And you'll find out the possessed are usually have those spirits are ones that were working with them on temptation levels. They just don't come in from nowhere. When you play with demons, those are the ones that will be the first ones to possess you. You might get a higher ranking one if it's going to be a full body possession, so they can puppet you right and do it right. That's how they are. They're kind of pushy. You know, higher ranking ones. They do it on Ouija boards too. At some certain stage, you're like, all right, get out of here. You got far enough. You know, communicating on the Ouija board are the lower ones. No good spirit ever communicates on the Ouija board. I thought I'd throw that in there real quick. Okay, so I hope I got enough details in here because it's hard unless I bullet point it. But I know these topics well enough most of the time that I can cover it in probably a larger than a general area that'll really give you the idea. But don't forget, like I think Father Rippinger was talking about priest. He's not talking about you. You don't use demon names. You're not a priest. But you can say demon of lust. And it works too. Anxiety, for example. Let's say you had someone threaten you, and you come home and you're all worked up. You go to bed that night. You still find it's bothering you all night. You got this butterfly. That's a spirit. Your emotions won't carry over like that unless there's a spirit boxing your adrenal glands and so forth. If you say the prayer in the name of Jesus Christ and by his precious blood, I bind you, demons of anxiety, and bless yourself at least 3 times. Say it for up to 5 minutes. You'll find that feeling goes away. Try to relax and get this out of your mind. Put it out of your mind. Don't think about it, because when you do, you might flare it back up and you'll be saying the prayer all over again. So I know if you do that by itself, it doesn't work. So you have to do the prayer. So someone might go, well, you know, you just relax yourself. No, it doesn't work that way. It's to be expected, because you're looking at demons working on their normal level. They're not manifested. They're not scratching you. They're not possessing you. And oppression can be the last phase before something more serious. That is more like a temptation than anything else. It gets louder. It gets audible. It inhabits your dreams every time you sleep. It inhabits your thoughts during the day. Temptation. There's another topic right there in itself. The advances of temptation. Okay, everybody, God bless. So let me just say that we'll see you next time. And, you know, if you have any questions, put them down in the chat room. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. Share it with your friends as we continue to put out more videos. This is a way you can show your support. But feel free to, bring some comments up. But be nice, okay? Be nice. If I got something taken out of context, it'll probably be obvious that I didn't mean that. Give me the benefit of the doubt, okay? We've, not only done our research, but we speak about topics that we know about for a reason, that we know very well. God bless everybody. We'll see you next time on the Art of the Deals, or rather, you'll see me. Take care.